Hello traders and welcome to the Friday wrap-up, September 4th, 2015. Traders, great to be with you. Coming to you live from Pattaya, Thailand. Well, it's early for me. It's early on a Saturday morning and it's still Friday on the other side of the world, so most of you are probably still in Friday and not into Saturday. But I will tell you that in Thailand this morning, it is absolutely beautiful outside. Bright blue sunny skies and white sandy beaches, getting ready to head out. Hopefully in about 2 hours for lunch at the gazebo. We're spending the day at the beach today. Absolutely gorgeous. Traders, this is brought to you through FXCL. FXCL, excellence in trading. Please come visit us at fxclearing.com. Traders, what we do today is we're going to take a look at a bunch of daily charts. I think I got about 17 or close to 20 daily charts we're going to look at. And the whole motive of today is we're going to just look at price action. And we're looking at what we can expect in the week ahead. For those of you who don't know me, traders, let me introduce myself to you. My name is William Gilday, and I'm your moderator for the Friday wrap-up and also the market opening preview, which we do Monday through Friday before the London Open. Traders, I started trading in 2006 and 2008. I retired from a wonderful career as a firefighter paramedic out of the great state of Florida. Traders, I came to Thailand 9 days later for a 3-month holiday to celebrate my career. Well, it's 8 years later, traders, and I'm still in Thailand. I'm still trading Forex every day. Absolutely love it. I'm looking at fundamentals. I'm looking at technicals. I'm looking at charts and candlestick patterns, support and resistance. I'm looking for opportunities and probabilities to enter trades where the odds are that I can be successful in winning that trade. And no, I don't win every trade, trust me. Anybody ever tells you that, run the other way quickly. We all lose trades. That's just part of trading. All right, that's enough about me. We got a lot to do. Let's get to the risk disclaimer. Forex trading has a large potential rewards, but also a large potential risk. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the Forex markets. Most importantly, traders, please do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose. Traders, always remember that past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. Let's head over to the commentary section, just my 2 cents worth. I thought it was a good week last week, other than we had all these things going on with Draghi. I missed that trade, and I really kicked myself for 2 days over that, missing that trade. I knew he was going to be dovish, and I knew he was going to stay stuff, and I just should have stuck a market order in there and just went short on the euro dollar and just let that thing do its thing. And if it hit it, great. If not, that would have been fine too. But he was dovish, and he basically said we're going to continue quantitative easing. He didn't say he was going to add to it, but he sure went around the bush saying he was going to add to it. But I thought it was a good trading week. I thought yesterday was just a waste of time. I didn't actually trade NFP. And I was only in the London session for about an hour. The charts basically stopped moving, and I wasn't going to get into a trade and get stuck in a trade before NFP came out. So I was out to dinner. It was news came out about 7:30 p.m. Thailand time, and I opened up my phone and put my charts on my phone. And wow, what a whipsaw, huh? Bad numbers. What was it? 137. They were expecting 220, something like that. And anyhow, saw this whipsaw action that absolutely just grabbed traders and absolutely yanked them. People had pending orders in to go long or to go short. If you put a pending order to go long, you got knocked out, and you probably lost money on that. That was a pretty quick move there, and then we ended up with dollar strength after NFP came out, which was really surprising, being that they were bad numbers. However, I had not read up on. Well, I think unemployment went down to 5.1, and I think that's probably why that we ended up with that dollar strength. I haven't really read into it and taken a look at it. You do need time off. You got to get away from these computers sometime. But just take a look at the indices real quick. All the dollar indices, the US 30, the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, the small cap 2000, all in the red. All in the red in New York, closed yesterday. And if you take a look at the Eurozone, everything in the red. Unbelievable. Absolutely everything was in the red. And if you look at Asia, the only one that closed in the green after trading yesterday was the S&P ASX 200 out of Australia. They're the only ones who closed in the green at 0.25%. Everybody else was in negative numbers. Everybody was in the red. Pretty wild. Wait till you see some of these charts. Kind of crazy. So let's get a move on. So we're going to take a look at some daily charts and to review, and we're basically looking at price action. This is all about price action. So remember that as you look at these charts. Remember that every single candlestick that you'll see on this chart is 24 hours in duration. But that's really not important. That's not the purpose of this video. This video is to talk about price action and what we're to expect. And as you can see, it looks like the dollar Swiss. The Swiss is getting very weak and has been for some time. And now the dollar's getting its strength back again. You can see for like the last 2 weeks that the dollar is starting to get strong again. And what happens? The Swiss gets weak, the dollar gets strong, and we have an upside chart. So what am I looking at? Well, first of all, I wouldn't do anything on a Monday. I always call it Observation Monday because people are going to react to NFP. Remember, Asia hasn't had the opportunity to react to those NFP numbers yet because they were closed. Their markets were closed. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see. And so if I was going to trade this, if I was going to trade this and somebody said, well, what are you looking to do? I would say, well, I'm going to continue to take this to the long side and go with dollar strength. So let's take a look at the pound. The pound is really gotten weak over the last 2 weeks and has really fallen quite a bit. Had some bad data out during the week. But look at yesterday's candle. I mean, who would have thought we'd be down at 51.79 after yesterday, when like 2 weeks ago we were up at 54.50, so it's pretty wild. Welcome to Forex. But it's kind of interesting that it just so happens it's at resistance and then all of a sudden it drops. Goes through the 200 exponential moving average like, it was melting butter. I suspect that was a news candle, a data candle, it looks like to me. So this goes down and, we can see that we have, again, dollar strength. So we would just want to, I'm just looking to sell the pound. Now, if you go into day, Forex doesn't go in a straight line. So we've got probably close to 11 candles here that we've been in the red. So we're due for an update. We're due for a correction. And so watch out for that come Monday. That's why I call it Observation Monday, because you never know what's going to happen after NFP. And it's usually slow. Usually not a lot of volatility. Here's our good old euro dollar. Really, look at the candle. Look at the wick on the candle of yesterday's candle. Now that's the NFP candle. This thing wicked up on the initial reaction to the bad numbers, and then gave us dollar strength for the rest of the trading session, and then it ends up as a doji. And what's kind of funny is that it ends up as a doji on a support line. That dotted line is basically a mean line. Those yellow lines are a support line and a resistance line, and the green line on the chart is a daily, the 200 exponential moving average on this daily chart. So, what do we have here? So, I'm looking at this and I'm saying, well, again, we're going with dollar strength. And now, of course, the focus is going to be, all the media, all the social media, everybody now is going to talk about whether they're going to raise interest rates, being that they had a bad NFP. I don't know. I don't know what, I think Janet Yellen knows what she wants to do, and it's just going to take some time to figure out, we'll know, I think it's on the 17th, my time, the 16th, U.S. time. And I think she's going to raise. I think they're going to raise interest rates 25 basis points. I think they're foolish not to. They have to do something. I mean, 25 basis points is not going to do anything to this market. We'll get a reaction, like any time, and then it's gonna straighten itself out. But 25 basis points is like nothing. I mean, from 0 to 25 basis points is really nothing. So this charting platform does not have a dollar index chart on it, or dollar chart. So we're going to use the dollar yen chart, and you can see here as this is showing dollar weakness, right? It's showing dollar weakness here. So pretty interesting. I really wish I had a dollar chart, and I do not have a dollar chart. So this is definitely interesting to say the least. However, if you just give me 1 second. So what I did was thanks, appreciate that. What I did was I pulled up the U.S. dollar index futures chart, and it did go down. It dipped down yesterday and came back up and was sitting at 96.23. So was still dollar strength, even though this dollar yen chart isn't showing that. But the dollar is still strong, and I don't trade the dollar yen. Surprisingly, I should, especially after seeing that big red candle, right? But yeah, so see what happens with the yen. I'm kind of curious to see what goes on with the yen. I haven't traded a yen pair in quite a while. Here's a dollar CAD, and the CAD is so weak. They're having so much trouble in Canada now with these oil prices. Canada's a big oil exporter, refinery, all that stuff, and Canada is known basically as a commodity currency and all about oil, and they're hurting right now. They're really hurting. I read last week that now they're in a recession, and they have some major issues going on in Canada, and it's not good. It's not good. This oil below $55 a barrel is really hurting them, and it's showing in their economic numbers that are coming out. So if you're dealing with the CAD, just remember that you don't want to be selling. You don't want to be buying the CAD, right? You want to be selling the CAD no matter what pair you're with, because the CAD is just really in a really bad state right at the moment. And we're macro traders, and it definitely affects us. Here's our good old Aussie dollar, and as usual, what else would you expect it to be except for bearish? It's been bearish for like the last 2 years, right? So this nice candle yesterday just absolutely, I don't understand the dollar strength. I will read into that, and on the market opening preview, I'll go over that and explain what exactly happened. But I will tell you that this bad numbers come out and we get dollar strength. I don't understand it. I think in the back of my mind, I'm saying to myself, well, why would that do that? Well, in the back of my mind, I think that basically this is what the markets wanted, because I don't think they want interest rates to be risen in September in 2 weeks, and I think this is what this is all about. And I think the markets were really happy that they had a bad NFP come out. Here's a euro pound, pretty interesting. The euro was strong for a little bit, then the pound was strong for a little bit, and it's like two magnets right here, and you got this nasty range here. I don't trade this as a trading pair. I use it as a tool, but if you look at this is in a nasty range here. But if you remember these are daily charts, and some of these candles are probably 70 and 80 pip candles. And you have to remember that as you look at euro pound. So if you bring this down to a smaller time frame, the euro is stronger than the pound, and we know that. We know that the pound is weak. The pound has been weak all last week. So we know that the pound is weak, and we can expect to see what we're seeing. And we're in a range and when we get to a daily chart. But if you were trading a 15 or a 30-minute chart or even an hourly chart, you wouldn't see this. That's for sure. You definitely see euro strength. All right, here's Euro Aussie. Here's another one, right? The euro, in general, I mean, if you look at the euro dollar, the euro in general is weak, and now it's really weak. Okay, and but if you look at this chart, right? Yesterday it gives you this big blue candle, and that was because of the NFP and those numbers that came out. But the Aussie is so weak, so no matter what you put the Aussie up against, you should get
11 hours.
You should get
11 hours.
Aussie weakness, right? No matter what pair you go, you should get Aussie weakness. There's no strength in the Aussie, and Australia wants that. I mean, they want their thing at 0.68 or 65, so they're perfectly content with that, and that's what they're looking for, and that's what they want. So here's our euro yen. I trade this on a regular basis. And again, it's pretty crazy. The yen is strong, and I don't think they want that. I think we're going to see some kind of an intervention at some point. Always a hint when they're going to start to either put a stimulus in or they're going to inject money into their economy is when Kuroda starts speaking on a regular basis. And I hope you all have either in print or a news feed on one of your monitors that, just has data that's coming up, live, because you really need that. Because when, I always know when, Finance Minister Kuroda starts speaking like every 2 hours for a couple of days, that they're ready to do something. They're ready to inject some kind of a stimulus package. And I think that's happening, and I think that's going to happen. Surprisingly, Thursday, Friday, we didn't hear it. Now, they do have the G Summit, the G20 summit this weekend that started yesterday, Friday and Saturday. So, that can be something. But I think the yen is definitely going to do something to get rid of this yen strength. Here's a dollar Swiss. Again, this is just showing Swiss weakness. Nobody wants to buy the Swiss franc, folks. Sorry for those of you who are in Switzerland. Nothing is personal, but the fact is, as traders, I don't want to buy the Swiss franc, right? I want to buy the dollar, right? So you would sell, you would. But here, when you look at this dollar Swissy, this is showing dollar weakness, and like I said, I don't quite understand it myself, because this is really conflicting. So we're showing dollar weakness, which we should, because we had bad NFP. But it's pretty funny that we're showing Swiss strength here. So you're selling the dollar here is what's going on here. Here's a pound yen, the good old beast, and this is doing exactly what we would expect it to do. The pound dropped like a rock in the last week and a half. So, the pound is way down here, and now, the pound against the yen, we're looking at 180.66 as price. But you would expect the yen to be strong here and the pound to be weak, and that's pretty easy to figure that one out. That's not difficult. And if you're looking at what you're going to do, what are you going to do next week? Well, it's pretty easy. I mean, you just continue selling. You just continue selling this. I mean, if you look at this on a lower time frame, it's going to look like an avalanche came down. This is really, really yen strength here and pound weakness, which we've had. We've had yen weakness all week last week. So, so we've had yen strength and pound weakness. So, it's amazing. I got too many thoughts going through my mind at one time. Sorry about that, traders. All right, here's the Aussie CAD. I would expect this to show what it is. I'm really surprised that this isn't in a range, because the CAD is weak and the Aussie is weak. And it's pretty funny that that the Aussie, of course, is extremely weak, and that's why you're seeing this sell-off here on the Aussie. But, the CAD is weak too, and I would expect that we would have seen this in a range. We did for 3 days, but it looks like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then, Thursday just started to dump, and yesterday just continued the motion after that data came out. So if I was going to do anything, I'd be buying the Aussie. Selling the Aussie. Yes. Here's Aussie yen. I trade this pair a lot. I trade the Aussie yen, and this again showing conflicting stories here. But the Aussie is so weak. I mean, why wouldn't you trade anything against the Aussie, right? And the yen is strong, and that's an issue. And if you just traded this pair, the last 5 days, I mean, you made a lot of pips. You didn't have to you didn't have to change your screen. You didn't have to change anything. Everything was right there for you. But if you take a look at it, right now, it's at a pretty massive support area here. And it looks to me like it's a double bottom here. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens on Monday, Observation Monday, we call it, and we'll see if this goes up or down. But yeah, very interesting to see how this is going to work out. But again, I'd be bearish on this. I want to sell the Aussie no matter where it's at. I surely don't want to buy the Aussie. Okay, here's the Swiss yen. Again, the Swiss is weak. Nobody's buying the Swiss franc, folks. Like we talked about before. I know a lot of this is repetitive, but I'm showing that to you on purpose. When I put these slides together, and I do this on purpose. I pick out pairs on purpose to show you the weakness and the strength on currency pairs, so you can see that it's just not one currency pair. I don't only do one, yen pair or one Swissy pair or $1 pair. And only give you 6 charts. I give you a lot of charts so you can really see the macro picture. Remember, we're macro traders. We're looking at, the whole world. We're macro traders. And nobody's buying Swiss francs, trust me. And the yen is strong. We know the yen is strong. Here's the New Zealand yen. I love trading the New Zealand dollar. Nobody wants to buy the New Zealand, right? Nobody wants to buy the Kiwi, unfortunately. I trade this a lot. I trade the New Zealand dollar, which would be the next chart. But, again, the yen is strong, and the Kiwi is very, 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 very weak, right? I would not even think about buying the New Zealand. And then here's the New Zealand dollar, and it's extremely, extremely weak, traders. There's no reason to buy the New Zealand dollar. Even in a correction, I wouldn't do it because you're going to get zapped. It doesn't. Forex doesn't move in a straight line, and this is going to correct. You might see a blue candle here on Monday. Would not surprise me at all. I should say the next Asia session, which is Sunday night on the Eastern Standard Time. For me, it's Monday morning, so sorry about that. But yeah, as far as the New Zealand dollar goes, all we want to do is we want to sell it. Traders, that wraps up our charts. Sorry we went so long, almost 22 minutes. Remember that this is brought to you through FXCL Excellence in Trading. And please come visit us at FXClearing.com for your trading solutions. Great sites to visit, a lot of opportunities, lots of training, and an awesome economic account. Traders, again, I'd like to thank you for joining me. My name is William Gilday, and enjoy your weekend break with family, friends, and loved ones, and even the guy in the pickup truck driving down the road. Wave to him and say hello. Traders, have a great weekend, and we'll catch you next week for the Friday wrap-up. Take care, traders. Talk to you next time.